Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Now at 10, we start on the weather. Rain has ramped up all day. We've seen showers grow heavy at times this evening. And if you go outside tonight, make sure you take a jacket. It's getting cold out there. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Hartman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The rain won't let up before your morning commute, but if you're missing that summer heat, you won't have to wait long either.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with what to expect tomorrow and when things warm up again, because it's not fall yet, Rach.
No, but it certainly felt like it outside today. It was just a good laundry and soup day. We've got areas of rain heavy for parts of the state, and this will continue right through the overnight hours before starting to taper off early tomorrow morning. Farmington, Bristol, Canton, all seeing some locally heavier downpours, and so is New London County, just lit up from Sprague down through Ledyard, Mystic, and Stonington. And also in southwestern Connecticut, we're seeing some bands of heavy downpours. Luckily, this is during a time that a lot of people are in bed, cozying up, watching the news at 10, so not too many issues associated with this. It's kind of nice to fall asleep to the sound of rain pitter-pattering on your roof, right? So here's that rain. Notice after 2 o'clock in the morning, any heavy downpours seem to be over by that point, but there could still be a lingering shower early tomorrow morning. And it's cool out there. Temperatures are in the 50s, so refreshing if you wanted to keep the windows open. You didn't mind a little splash over from the rain. So an early morning shower tomorrow. I think it's cloudy in the morning. By noon, temperatures are in the mid 60s, and high temperatures will be up around 70s. So we're about 10 plus degrees below average. Some slow clearing is possible, but not much. And there is the chance for some minor coastal flooding tomorrow night. This is from Hurricane Erin. Minor impacts, but we're going to talk about them here in Connecticut coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. The time is 10:02 now, and we're on breaking news on I-91 in Middletown. Some traffic is starting to trickle through near exit 20 after a multi-car vehicle crash. It happened right near State Police headquarters around 8 this evening. We're told injuries were minor, but they had to block off the entire northbound lane to clean up. They just opened a lane, but there is a massive backup. We'll let you know when traffic is flowing again. All right, tonight, new fallout over ICE raids across the state. The latest saw 65 people arrested by the federal government.
Fox 61's Stephen Reels has the latest on what happened and how communities are reacting.
According to ICE, this latest raid was called Operation Broken Trust, and it saw people rounded up over the course of 4 days from places like Danbury, Norwalk, and Stamford. One incident you're about to see in a moment came from Friday, and it came during this 4-day stretch. Now, just a warning, this could be disturbing to some viewers.
New footage from Norwalk as two brothers from Mexico were arrested by federal agents. Seen here, one brother attempted to run away when he was tased and fell down. The other brother can be heard yelling in the background and asked to see the agent's arrest warrants as the officers placed his knee near the man's neck. In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security said ICE agents were operating in the city, but did not specify if they were involved in the arrest. This arrest came amid the department's Operation Broken Trust, a reference to the Connecticut Trust Act, which limits local and state law enforcement cooperation with ICE. According to ICE, 65 undocumented immigrants were apprehended, who either have serious crime charges in the U.S., are part of a transnational gang, or have crime charges in their home country. The identity of 13 people were shared, people from countries like India, Ecuador, and El Salvador. The youngest, a 19-year-old from Guatemala. The oldest, a 51-year-old from Peru. However, not everyone approves of how these arrests went down.
And people, especially law enforcement officials, have to be accountable for their actions, and they have to be identifiable to make sure that if something did go wrong, we can identify the officer that might have been the person acting inappropriately.
Among those frustrated, Mayor of Norwalk, Harry Rilling, who said ICE agents entered the Norwalk police parking lot twice without permission and were then told to leave.
Our goal is to ensure all residents are treated with dignity and respect, regardless of anyone's immigration status or background.
State Democrats like Congressman Jim Himes also criticized the raids and called them disgusting and dehumanizing, while Republicans like State Senators Stephen Harding and Rob Sampson called the arrests excellent news and, quote, Connecticut Republicans will continue to stand for law and order, and we will continue to stand with victims of violent crime.
Now, the city of Norwalk, Common Council, and police are working with State Attorney General William Tong, state delegates, and others to plan public forums so they can share resources and information on how they can, quote, protect the community. In the studio, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
Well, today, more than 30 local and state leaders met to defend State Representative Corey Paris, who says he has received death threats now after posting last week on Instagram to warn people about ICE agents in his district. State leaders, including Senator Richard Blumenthal, say Paris did nothing illegal or wrong by telling people to watch out for ICE. Instead, they say ICE was wrong for reposting Paris's post and then saying Paris is helping illegal immigrants evade arrest. Well, that post has been viewed hundreds of thousands of times. State Senator Gary Winfield says he has spoken to Paris since the death threats and says right now Paris is more worried about his family's safety than his own.
It is a life-altering event. It makes you look at the work that you're doing in a way that you've never looked at it before.
Now, we also heard from State Representative Eleni Kavros de Graw. She says while her Republican co-workers couldn't join her today, supporting Paris against the death threats is a nonpartisan issue.
It is exactly this kind of behavior and these kind of threats that drive noble people out of this profession, as many of us are trying to bring back the integrity that this profession deserves and that the people who elect us deserve.
Now, Senator Blumenthal says he plans to formally announce a congressional investigation into whoever it was at ICE that posted that message on X about Paris. And we'd like to acknowledge here that Representative Paris's fiancée is Fox 61 morning show anchor Symphony Privet.
Police say the manhunt for a Vermont man is over. Mason Payne has been arrested in Stamford. Police from multiple states searched for him all day. Massachusetts State Police believed he could have been hiding in Connecticut. Payne was wanted after what police are calling a violent domestic incident that happened in Vermont. Police say then he also dragged a Massachusetts state trooper during a traffic stop. That was also last night. Stamford police say they found Payne at the Red Carpet Inn just after 5 o'clock this afternoon, and he was taken into custody without incident. Police say they found 2 firearms when searching his room and car, and right now we're waiting for police to share his charges and whether he'll be extradited back to Massachusetts or to Vermont. We'll keep you posted.
The memorial growing on Schultes Place in Hartford grows larger by the hour as the community remembers 4 victims of a deadly house fire. Family members shared their names, sisters Aisha and Crystal 25 and 21 years old respectively, and teenage Soraya, as well as Aisha's 3-year-old son Josh. The mayor of Hartford was at the memorial before the vigil scheduled for tonight was pushed to Sunday due to the rain. He says the city is focused on helping the family navigate the days coming.
Other kids who were in this household who were, some of them had injuries, all of them real mental trauma as a result of this, who are going to be starting school soon. You realize, by the grace of God, this is not my family, but we should do everything we can to help families that are in the worst of situations, and my heart really goes out to this one.
We asked for an update on the fire investigation. The mayor says state police are leading it, and it'll be some time before they can release any more information. Meanwhile, the city is working to support the grieving families with temporary housing and eventually a new home.
An inmate has died after an apparent overdose at McDougall Walker Correctional Institution. The Department of Corrections says staff found him unresponsive this morning. CPR was performed, but the man died at the hospital. State police and the medical examiner are investigating the incident. The overdose is part of a wider trend, corrections officers tell Fox 61. Narcotics are being smuggled in on paper, disguised as legal mail. And the letters aren't searched because they claim to come from attorneys. Just last month, Connecticut attorney Jonathan Einhorn agreed to give up his license to practice law after federal prosecutors say he brought paper stained with synthetic cannabinoids into a Rhode Island facility.
A federal judge says a lawsuit against Lyft can move forward, filed by the family of Julie Minogue. She's the Milford mother murdered by a man named Ewan DeWitt with an axe back in 2022. Minogue's family claims a rideshare driver brought DeWitt to Julie's home that night and ignored red flags. The suit says the driver let DeWitt carry an axe into the car, stopped at a liquor store along the way, and then dropped him off at Minogue's condo. The judge ruled the driver's actions may have increased the risk of violence months, which could make Lyft potentially liable. DeWitt is serving 40 years in prison for the murder as part of a plea deal reached with the state. The judge's decision means the case against Lyft now moves into the discovery phase.
A body was discovered in the water near East Shore Park in New Haven. Police and fire crews responded to the scene where the person was pronounced dead. Investigators say there were no obvious signs of trauma. We still don't know the cause and manner of death until those autopsy results are released.